Okay, so uh, I apologize in advance for how I look. Man, my eyes look terrible. I just got a shower, so I guess that probably doesn't help. I know my hair looks horrible, but I just figured I'd make this video off the cusp now. And so I also apologize. I know I stammer and stutter a lot and mumble a lot, but I just felt like talking for a bit. And what was I going to talk about? Well, I guess I can't afford a therapist because my job doesn't have benefits really. So I'm just going to make myself my therapist or whatever. Who the hell? I'm just going to vent. So to be honest, I don't even know what to talk about, where to start, but I'll just talk about my personal experiences with I'll say I've always like with emotion and stuff, but to be honest, I've always been an emotional person. Just that when I was younger, I guess it was mainly came out in anger. I would get when I was younger, I got in trouble a lot at school, at least from second grade to fourth grade, and I even had to take mandated. I think it was mandated. I'm not sure. But, anger management classes because I'd get in trouble and angry all the time. But then I'd say when I guess it would be about fifth, no, into sixth grade, I started to really get depression. I don't know why, but the main thing I remember, I guess I was changing schools, so that kind of contributed. But the other thing is, I was depressed because I had a dream just thinking about death or somebody in my, I think it was my great grandmother. Actually, she's dead now, but she was alive at the time. I had a dream of her dying, but somehow I would see her dying and then just nothingness. And of course, even back then, I wasn't religious. I didn't believe in afterlife, and for me, I guess I just had an existential crisis. The thought of nothingness and the idea, I guess, that life is meaningless. I guess you could. I don't know if it's nihilism because I see people say nihilist or people think life is meaningless, but I can't really say what nihilism is because I've never read about it, and I don't know if people are even accurately portraying it. But I do remember getting very depressed and anxious and just I guess not having knowing or finding meaning in life. But I guess that went away after a few months. I do remember going to therapy for a bit for that though, because I was like, for me, I was just constantly obsessing over death and everything. And I guess it's not like I started going to really more introverted inwards. Like I guess I'm pretty a very introverted person actually, but especially by then is what I noticed is when I started going a lot more inward. And well, I went to high school. Then I think my first year of high school into summer. I think it was about that time. I don't know between the ninth grade and 10th grade. I remember getting the same existential crisis and just being afraid of death again. That time it didn't last as long. But the third and most recent time I can think of when that happened is actually the time it probably lasted longest, but it was a few years ago. I think it was like right before COVID, so about December 2019. I don't remember. I just remember I was playing Tomb Raider for the PC, the first Tomb Raider, and feeling fine. But it must have been like a day or two after that's when I really started feeling depressed because I remember then watching stuff and just like not like being depressed, thinking about death and obsessing over death and stuff. And that time it lasted months. Let's say until I don't even know when, but I would just always think about people and wonder, oh, they're dead or how old they are, how much they're gonna live, and just really obsessing over death and like I guess wondering if I remember I would cry, or just wishing that I stopped thinking that way. And I guess with COVID happened, and so then that was kind of interesting happening at the same time. But that lasted for months, and so I guess I've always had this existential crisis, thinking about worried about death and that. But on the other side is just my introvertedness, or I really have I had a lot of trouble connecting with people. I remember sometimes in university I try to join groups or whatever, but then I felt like I wouldn't really connect to anyone. I don't really have any friends. And I guess so while I was in university I tried making or just started going online and going to forums and stuff, but I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I regret it because it's one thing to feel lonely, but I almost feel like that was better because then now I can realize that I'm a very paranoid person. So I always assume everyone hates me, and I obsess over things like thinking that I don't know if I won't say conspiring against me, but I always worry obsessively over thinking that people secretly don't like me or that people are gonna turn on me or whatever. And I guess I've had people sour on me, or I don't know if they never it's that they never liked me or that they just had trouble hiding over time. But of course, obviously, a lot of times I would notice, but then it make you wonder how many other people felt the same way. And yeah, so and the problem is like that's years. There's some stuff like it's like 6 years ago, and I guess a lot of times I still haven't fully gone over it, but it makes me thinking if this is just people that I've met online, why would I want to meet people in person? That'd be make it just seem like if I can get paranoid or the pain of stuff like that happening would make it even worse. So I guess a lot of times I'm worried or afraid of making connections. 'Cause I feel like I'd rather be just feel nothing and feel alone than instead of feeling alone and paranoid and really hurt. Because a lot of times I don't know, but a lot of it's also just things like I feel like I'm going nowhere in life and jobs. Like I got a job where I work nights, and obviously with working nights, I can't really get that many social interactions. But even just like money, I feel like I can't even afford a car. It just makes me feel like I waste so much of my day traveling to and from work, and I'm never even gonna be able to afford anything, or I can't even take vacations because I don't get paid vacation, of course. And it's more I feel like how is it ever gonna get better? Because and like with obviously a lot of times you wonder if things are even gonna get better. So then I get depressed thinking, oh my God, this is my life. And then of course, I wouldn't say I'm a suicidal person, but I get suicidal thoughts all the time, especially at work, like a lot of times for hours a day. And I just get suicidal thoughts all the time. That's basically my coping mechanism, or at least one of them. And I know it's not a good coping mechanism, but it's the coping mechanism I use. And so, yeah, why am I making this video? I don't know why. I just it's not like I've never had this conversation with myself before. I try to self-analyze all the time, but I guess just recently, the last few weeks or so, I've been really wondering what's going to happen with my life. I don't mean like suicidal. Obviously, I'm not a suicidal person. I said I have suicidal thoughts, but I wouldn't consider myself suicidal. But a lot of times I just wonder, is this really what the rest of my life is going to be? I'm just going to be depressed, working nights, not having a very well paid job, can't afford to at least what I consider to do much. I don't have any motivation because I'm also tired from work, so I don't go anywhere, and I don't want to make any connections because I'm afraid of things happening, or I just feel like it's a waste of time because like I feel like I don't even have time to pursue my hobbies because I'm so tired from work or from the travel that I feel like I can't even do anything. So I feel like my life is just work, and then outside of work, I don't even know what to do because I just get anxious thinking of doing things and stuff. So yeah, I don't know what to do, but I don't want to stay up too late because I actually got to get up. But I don't even know how long I've been recording for. 8 minutes, 30 seconds. I don't know. Until next time.